Everybody, it's me, your buddy Dave, the host of the Dark Stuff channel here on YouTube. Thank you so much for checking out my latest video. As always, it is much appreciated. On this week's video, I'm going to be taking you back to the 80s. Well, not really, but I mean, I saw the 80s hard rock legends Night Ranger at the Astro last week. Now, they're a band that I've probably never covered on this channel, maybe never mentioned before, but they are a significant part of my past. I grew up in the 1980s listening to Night Ranger. The guys had so many hits. I mean, everyone knows Sister Christian. Maybe you just know it from the whatever that 90s porno movie that was made where it was prominently featured. But they've also got Don't Tell Me You Love Me, You Could Still Rock in America, Sentimental Street, When You Close Your Eyes, the song itself, Night Ranger, you know, all of these other ones. This is a band that started out in San Francisco in the late 70s. I came across this band the way I think a lot of young metal kids did of my era. Growing up at this time, 82, 83, I was 11 or 12 years old, and I had just started really getting into Ozzy Osbourne. And the first time I ever saw Ozzy on TV or in any way, shape, or form was on a concert live at the Ritz from 1982, and the guitar player on Ozzy's band at that time was Brad Gillis. That Live at the Ritz concert, some of it ended up becoming this album, Blizzard of Oz by Ozzy Osbourne. But on this album, the live album from that period, all they did was Sabbath covers. And there's a reason for that, and I won't even get into it. It's contractual, it's all sorts of stuff. But the concert itself didn't feature just that. Like the one on MTV that played featured the entire Ozzy, repertoire. So his first two solo albums that had been out at the time, plus some of the Sabbath stuff. And I was just enamored with Brad Gillis. I just thought he was so cool, doing all the weird rocker moves and all the tapping and bending his guitar and doing all this cool shit, stuff that impressed a 12-year-old from Nebraska. So I'm pretty sure that by the time that I got into Night Ranger, that Brad Gillis was long since gone from Ozzy. I mean, I think it was probably, he might have quit in 82 or whatever, and that's when the first Night Ranger record came out, but I don't think I heard of them till 83. I had this one. I got Midnight Madness. This one is Big Life. Okay, I've got that. This one is Seven Wishes. And I think this is probably about the Seven Wishes time. That's the last Night Ranger record that I bought. And that was probably the last time I considered myself really an active fan. By the end of the 80s, Jack Blades from that band combined with a guy from my former favorite band, Styx, Tommy Shaw, and they made the band Damn Yankees. My musical taste had completely changed by that point, and I really never embraced the Damn Yankees that much. I liked them for a minute or two, but it didn't really have staying power. Found out that Night Ranger was playing at the Astro, and strange show. It was like a reserve seat show in a theater, no opener, just Night Ranger. That's it. Okay. I took my 7-year-old nephew to the concert. It was his first ever rock concert, and I can't say he was a Night Ranger fan before or after. Kind of hard to tell when you're 7, but there was a time during the show where Jack Blades asked everyone to do it old school and light up the room by turning the flashlight on your phone. That got him the most engaged in the entire concert. I will be honest about that. So I walked into the concert with a totally open mind. I was like, you know what? I'm a 54-year-old person now, but when I was 14, these guys were the absolute shit, and I loved it. And so I'm just going to try and relax and get back into that mindset of when I was a 14-year-old who was really impressed by guys making weird sex faces when they're playing guitar and bending the guitar, doing all that stuff, the Brad Gillis moves, by the way. Was in really good form, and they played all the stuff you would expect them to play. You Can Still Rock in America, and When You Close Your Eyes, and Sing Me Away, and of course the major hits from their particular era. Whether they played songs from the 2000s, because they've had albums out since the late 90s, you know, every couple of years they put out a record. I honestly don't know. The guitar player, Kerry Kelly, had done some time working with Slash, so they were kind of going round robin and doing some of the projects that the other guys have been involved in. So he played a little bit of Guns N' Roses. And then Brad Gillis came up and he did some they said, oh, I used to play with Ozzy, you know, and they tell their Ozzy story about drugs and partying and all of that stuff. And he does a little bit of Crazy Train. That was pretty cool. They did a couple of Damn Yankees songs, which got the crowd going. So I guess, you know, that wasn't a bad move as far as they were concerned. I was just like, kind of indifferent on that one. You know, for a band that hasn't had a hit song since probably 1988 or 89, and maybe I'll include Damn Yankees in there, so give them an extra year. So it's been about 35 years. The fans were very enthusiastic. They were very, very much into the concert. Whenever there were opportunities for them to sing a bit, they sang a little bit, you know. I was up in one of the boxes, and it was great. It sounded phenomenal up there. My only negative was I couldn't really see Kelly Kagi, the drummer, while he was playing. So you had to kind of get this weird little angle in between the speakers because we had this big barrage of speakers there. But he did come out from behind the kit and sing a couple of times, and so that was cool. But it's hard living life on this merry-go-round. Always up, always. It seemed to me that the crowd overwhelmingly loved it. It was a small but enthusiastic crowd that absolutely, I would say 99% of them walked out of there being like, that was an awesome fucking time. And they really enjoyed it. That's about the most I can say for it. I mean, I got some texts from people who were surprised that I went. And they were like, so, dude, what did you think? And I always responded the same way. You can still rock in America, dude. And you can. Thanks a lot for watching, everybody. Take care. Bye-bye.
So, you have a MySpace page or something?